Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside HEB Park for some USL soccer action on a Saturday night. Seattle Sounders FC2 and the Rio Grande Valley FC Toros coming your way. Alongside my broadcast partner, George Metellus. My name is Neil Rule. Happy to have you with us wherever you may be watching around the world. Let's take a look at our players to watch here tonight for both sides. First off, for the home side, the Toros. Jesus Enriquez is the guy that makes things go. 5 goals in 26 matches this season, and George, he can do it any way you want it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right-footed, left-footed with the head. He is going to be a menace to the defense of Seattle Sounders 2. Look for Enriquez. He's the team leader, co-team leader in goals scored this season. He's going to be very crucial in that attack for Rio Grande Valley in this match. And
an important part of Sounders FC2 attack has been David Estrada. He's in double figures now with goals on the season. And another guy that can do it with the right foot, the left foot, or the head.
Yeah, another player that is going to be a nuisance too, this time to the Rio Grande Valley defense. 10 goals this season, double digits. That's always impressive in a league like USL. If he can score goals, then Seattle will have a great chance to win this match.
When we come back, we'll have the starting 11s tonight. And of course, we will kick it. Sounders FC2, RGV, and we'll have the action coming up next. Back inside HEB Park in Edinburgh, Texas. We're just about ready to go here between RGV and Sounders FC2. Let's take a look at the starting 11s for tonight's matchup. First, for the home side, the Toros, we'll do the Sounders 2 with the visiting side. And George, as you take a look out there, what do you see tactically?
Well, we see a 3-4-3 with that diamond midfield. And what this tells me is that Seattle is going to come out and try to have the vast majority of the possession. That means Jesse Daly is going to have to be a crucial player in linking up the defense with the attack. His connection with Marlon Vargas and then with Burke Gilroy and Shandon Hopio will be very important in this match to get that service for David Estrada up top.
And the Toros attack here today as well. They'll be in a very important man in the middle in the form of number 14, Todd Wharton. He leads this squad in chances created. He's a straw that stirs a drink.
Absolutely. He is the captain, and if he can get a lot of touches in this game and is not being pressed by that midfield. Remember, Seattle's going to come out with that diamond midfield, so they might pressure Wharton. They might bracket him, if you will. If they can neutralize Todd Wharton, then Seattle will have a great chance. But if Wharton gets a lot of touches and pushes forward, Seattle is in big trouble.
Let's take a look at the coaches here tonight as well. First, for RGV, Gershon Echeverri, in his first season, spent 5 years as a head coach of the Seton Hall Pirates.
And he is a player, or excuse me, a manager or coach that is really about developing players. Obviously, when you come from the NCAA level, you know how to, or you're used to dealing with young players who are new to the game or who need that next step. He has that knowledge, and he is bringing that to RGV. John
Hutchinson is the coach for Seattle Sounders. There are the officials. The whistle sounds, and we are underway in Edinburgh, Texas. Neil Rule, George Metellus with you. Happy to have you alongside wherever you are on a Saturday night. And you can tell it's fall in the air in Edinburgh, Texas. It's only 84 degrees, and it only feels like 91 at opening kick.
Yeah, fall, maybe it's winter for that time of the season. Only 84 degrees. They're like, this global warming thing is definitely a hoax. But it's perfect football weather, soccer weather, if you are a fan watching this game.
So Sounders, too, with the early possession down at the bottom of your screen. As things get rolling, they will try the left side. And there is Sam Rogers, who was signed to a professional contract out of high school, a big fan of golf. He's got to be happy. Tiger Woods getting in the mix today.
All right, Tiger Woods is back. All right.
There is John Hutchinson, as we said, in his first season, had 11 appearances for the Malta national team as a player. So Sounders, too, with that early possession a minute in. And, George, they are very methodical right now.
Yeah, the Maltese Falcon, John Hutchinson has them playing that three-man backline. That is the new kind of in vogue formation in soccer nowadays. And that means they're going to have a lot of possession. Everyone has to get a touch when you're going forward with that three-man back line to prevent those counterattacks. If RGV can get a quick turnover, there's a lot of space to be exploited that they can use on the counterattack. So that's something to watch for in this match.
As Rodon plays it up ahead, now Nick Hines has it. Hines, the former standout at the college soccer powerhouse Akron. The whistle and the foul will go against S2. So for the first time here this evening in the second minute, Rio Grande Valley FC will have some possession with the restart.
And this is where Todd Wharton, the man on the ball there, number 14, is going to be important. The more touches he gets, the more dangerous in attack Rio Grande Valley Toros is. So look for Todd Wharton to be involved in a lot of the play going forward for RGV.
RGV struggled to start the season, but as of late have put things together, 5-5-3. Here's a good through ball sent through. But the keeper, Chris Seitz, will come off the line. Seitz plays the keeper position for the Houston Dynamo of the MLS, getting some run here in the USL. S2 with that possession, retreating with it. David Estrada, we talked about him in the open, 30 years old. And George, he's just been a professional goal scorer everywhere he's been.
Absolutely, a player with excellent touch in and around the area, and also willing to work hard. We've seen him drop back. He's at that center forward position, but we've seen him drop back to make himself available, play with his back to goal so he can create chances. And with Gonzalez and Hines on his wings, he's going to have to be very important in terms of his distribution and his positioning in this match.
Estrada, 41 matches played for the Sounders MLS side in his career from 2010 to 2014. So a savvy veteran. There's a good mix of youth and veteran for both sides here this evening. And George, this is an exciting match to take a look at in terms of that, the youth that are out there on the pitch right now. And Brandon Morales is a guy for RGV. He's 18 years old, making his USL debut. He's the first ever Toros Academy signee to make the squad.
That is huge, because the lifeblood, the backbone of any great club, it doesn't matter if it's RGV or Liverpool or Manchester United or Real Madrid, the lifeblood, the backbone of any good club is how well they develop youth players, their youth academy. And the more that they can get those youth academy players into the starting 11 at the senior team level, the better the job that the academy is doing. And it also it helps the league out as well. And it's a good advertisement for the player as well. So to see Brandon Morales in the lineup for RGV is a positive thing. And hopefully we'll have a great match and his career will progress positively after that.
Todd Wharton through the middle, making the play. Enriquez has it, swings it out wide to the left. RGV for the first time inside the 18. Wharton one more time, right-footed shot, and it's buried from distance. RGV, their first opportunity, takes a 1-0 lead.
Todd Wharton, he is the man. And that is a brilliant strike from long range. You wonder if the goalkeeper, Callie Brown, maybe doesn't see it. That ball is able to go through about 3 or 4 bodies, and maybe Callie Brown sees it late. Whatever the case, anytime you put it on frame, it is going to lead to positive things, and that is what happened. Good ball movement, good, the way they circulated the ball around was important. Enriquez getting a touch, and then Wharton asking for it. Had plenty of time and space. Nobody closes down on him. That is poor marking and poor defending by Seattle. You have to recognize that Todd Wharton is the most dangerous attacking player. Someone has to be on top of him all game long, especially when they're around the penalty box.
Callie Brown, the keeper, fooled from a good deal out. So the goal for RGV, kind of against the run of play. I think that's very fair to say. But right now, S2 on the back foot.
Yeah, for sure. S2 with the possession. And then Wharton is the one that actually started the play by getting it to Enriquez going forward.
And you mentioned that, partner, and that was a good call by you in the open. This is the guy that makes everything go for RGV, and he's gaining confidence. We're seeing that. The former University of Virginia standout won the national title back in 2014 during his time with the Cavaliers, but you almost can see it, the confidence growing and his ability to make plays for that man, Coach Echeverri.
Well, Seattle came out in that diamond formation, and so you figured between Daly and Vargas, they will have some extra motivation or extra responsibility in marking Wharton, and they didn't.
Here comes Enriquez on the left side again, touches it up inside the 18, just out of the reach of Carlos Small. Small, the former Panamanian national team player, had a couple of goals in a match against Grenada. And I would imagine there's no better feeling in the world when you put your country's kit on and you put a couple in the back of the net.
For sure. To play for your national team is a great honor, and especially for a team like Panama. I know Carlos Small didn't go to the World Cup for Panama, but still, he helped that program and that national team develop and move up higher and higher in CONCACAF. So that's a great honor for him. And Panama's, now that they've reached the World Cup, nothing but up for the Red Tide, the Canal squad, if you will.
Some physical play there. And the possession's taken away. Wilmer Andres Cabrera, the son of the Houston Dynamo head coach Wilmer Cabrera. 7 matches started this year, took it away. Throw-in coming up for RGV. They got off on the good foot. A Todd Wharton goal early on. And that is the 1-0 lead. Stepping through on the attack. Now the pass threaded out. The cross comes in. And it's played out by S2. But RGV, George, when they attack, they've been dangerous.
Yeah, that was well worked down that right side. That was Morales and Bird combining there.
And here we come on the left side. There's Small making a run. Small stops. He's dispossessed. And the keeper, Brown, will maintain it and put the boot to it.
Yeah, that was Small down the left side, and Enriquez was overlapping as well. So we're seeing good movement off the ball by RGV. It's creating spaces, creating opportunities on goal for the Toros. It's a positive sign. With that 3-man back line, those spaces are there for them, so they just have to be a little bit smarter. Or they have to, I shouldn't say a little bit smarter, they have a goal already, but they have to just be smart in terms of how they make those passes, the timing of the runs, and if they do that, they can probably get a second goal.
And George, you can almost tell right now S2 took a punch to the jaw in giving up that goal. A little more deliberate now with what they're trying to do in their buildup.
Yeah, and especially the way they gave up the goal, leaving Wharton unmarked because of the runners of Enriquez and Cabrera getting into the penalty area.
And here comes RGV again up that left wing. They have been dangerous in that spot. Enriquez has it taken away. But we see a theme developing here with the RGV attack.
Yeah, it looks like they are exploiting the right side of the S2 defense, the left side of the RGV attack, with Enriquez overlapping and playing off of Carlos Small.
Now on the left side, S2 and Nick Hines settles things down, working one-on-one, now one-on-two, and stepping through both defenders. Set to the top of the D, and that shot is blocked out of play. And actually, there will be a goal kick awarded, so the defender did not make contact. Just more of a whiff on that right-footed shot attempt.
You got to like the confidence of Nick Hines. He's able to break down 2 players and create chaos in the area in favor of Seattle. Well done by Nick Hines. Seattle needs a play like that in order to get back in this game.
Nick Hines with a goal this year. It was a game winner against Timbers 2 back on March 16th. It was in front of 6,000 fans. And now here comes the play. Here's Hines. Left foot shot. Save made by the keeper, Seitz.
Oh, and Seattle had that counterattack going. Quick turnover, and it led to an opportunity. Hines maybe taking an extra touch that allowed Seitz to close down that angle. But a turnover in the back end, Seattle took advantage of it in Hines, as I mentioned. He just maybe one times it, or it takes a little bit lighter touch, or maybe he doesn't take that extra touch, maybe we're looking at an equalizer.
Here's Nick Hines going to work like a doctor.
Well, that's Dr. Pepper, because he had some spice on that one.
Right side. One more time. Here's Eric Bird. The cross curls in. Headed away. And popped out of harm's way temporarily as Wharton will settle things down. And RGV looking to attack one more time. AJ De La Garza will send it back. 12th minute, 1-0. Toros with the lead. Neil Rule, George Metellus with you. Happy to have you along wherever you're watching here this evening. USL Soccer. Lots of youth on the pitch for both sides. As George was talking about, it's good to see.
Yeah.
That pass sent up very quickly off the line is Chris Seitz. Seitz with some MLS experience as well. Was a 4th overall pick in the 2007 MLS draft. He went to Real Salt Lake. 102 career matches started in the MLS for Seitz.
That is a lot of experience back there. To beat Seitz is going to take something special from Seattle. He has seen a lot of soccer in his day.
Seitz played his college soccer at Maryland. He was a 2006 ACC Defensive Player of the Year. And if you're the Player of the Year in anything in the ACC, you're legit.
Yeah,
period.
For sure. The ACC does have an excellent tradition of soccer. And to win Defensive Player of the Year, that is a big honor for Chris Seitz. Great pedigree there, the former Terrapin.
Ball swung out to the right side. That's two again, patient. They will send it back to the middle. Rodriguez Eli goes to the left side. There's Tony Alfaro. Now back to the middle. Jesse Daly, the native of Australia. S2 will try the attack from that right side one more time. Some good build-up here from S2, George.
Yeah, RGV's defense, they're keeping their shape, but it's a bend don't break, but it definitely good build-up, good possession.
Opeo goes to the left side. Vargas drop back. But again, Sounders 2 with the possession. That ball sent ahead and just out of the reach of Marlon Vargas.
And well done by Seattle. Vargas timing his run, just kind of biding his time, waiting to find that space. He found the space, and the pass was just a little too heavy there. Now RGV, they just had to get numbers back there because there was so much possession by Seattle. But still a good build-up and some positive things to take away from that sequence for John Hutchinson.
So Seitz will get things rolling one more time. There's Connor Donovan. Also plays for the Houston Dynamo as well. He signed the Generation Adidas contract back in 2015. Toros now sending it around, and Seitz puts the big boot into it up towards midfield, and that ball will just trickle over the touchline right in front of Nick Hines. So Nick Hines has been strong here for S2 so far, George.
Yeah, he's looked very, very strong down that left side of the attack. He's shown a lot of confidence in his ability to break down defenders one-on-one. He had that chance that was kept out by Seitz. So that matchup between him and A.G. De La Garza at the right back position is going to be crucial. De La Garza might have to give up a little bit of his duties going forward and stay back in attack to help out and try to neutralize Hines.
De La Garza plays it up, and it's taken away. Sounders FC2 trying to draw level. There's a good man to do it. David Estrada trying to make his move. The last defender got him. And the foul will go against S2.
Yeah, Daly coming up from his defensive central midfield role, coming up with that sliding challenge. And while he did not get the ball and he committed the foul, it does give Seattle a chance to regroup, give their defense time to reorganize. In that sense, it's a good foul. Daly's going to have to be important in front of that back four. Or back three, I should say.
Enriquez unable to track that one down. Throw in coming for S2. At HEB Park, one of the more picturesque stadiums in all the USL.
It certainly is.
You see the suites there in the background. They're doing it right down there.
Yeah, they sure are. I mean, it's a great facility. You can see the pitch is pretty well maintained. Great views from everywhere in the stands. It's definitely one of the best, and as you mentioned, picturesque stadiums in all of USL.
Here comes RGV through the middle one more time. Taken to the turf was Carlos Small. Toros will regroup and work it around the back line. In the teleconference earlier this week with head coach Gershon Echeverri for RGV, I asked him, I said, talk about the atmosphere and everything that goes on in the stadium. And he said, it's great. We have passionate fans. They spend a lot of time at the bars at each end there. It's a party scene out there as much as it is a soccer match. And it gives everyone ample opportunity to engage in whatever they like.
Yeah, and you mentioned it's a picturesque stadium. People want to go to a nice place to watch a game. They want to see their team win, but also they want to go someplace where it's nice and you have a comfortable atmosphere. You mentioned the bars on each end.
Opeo on the attack. Opeo unable to split the two defenders. And Seitz will wing it out to the left side. And the Toros looking for the counter. Small with the through ball. That got my broadcast partner George Metellus out of his seat almost. He got excited on that one.
Yeah, that was a good thought there to get that through ball in. Just a little bit long and too much weight on the pass there intended for Cabrera, but still you got to like that, those line splitting passes. Don't want to say spitting because then you get into Douglas Costa and Juve, and that was gross, but whatever. But you want those line splitting passes, especially when you have a team that's 3 men in the back and giving up a lot in the midfield.
Opeo gives it away. And the Toros will turn. There's a good through ball. This is onside. Small moves around. And the keeper, Brown, saves the day.
It's the second time in, a minute we've seen something similar. That time, though, Carlos Small connects with it. A little too casual on the touch to get around the goalkeeper.
Brown stepping over, left-footed rocket shot. And a double-handed save made by Brown. Let's take another look at that one.
Oh, it's a great ball through by Cabrera. Small times his run perfectly, but look, I'm just too casual around the goalkeeper. And Brown makes a big-time play to deny a goal-scoring opportunity there. Small has to be a little more aggressive in terms of the touch, maybe even chip the keeper one time. But you got to give credit to Brown for getting a paw, getting that big goalkeeper glove on the ball and knocking it away.
Kelly Brown used to play for RGV 2016 and 2017. Played in 19 matches for RGV. This season, 18 matches started, has 2 clean sheets for S2.
And what's happening is Seattle, because of the press, giving up all this space in the back.
Attempting to thread the needle one more time. De La Garza was making the run on the right side. There were options in that attack for RGV.
Sure was. As you mentioned, down that right side, De La Garza. There was in the middle with Cabrera. Wide on the left with Enriquez. These holes are opening up for RGV.
Here's Carlos Small. Curls it just out of the reach. Boy, how about that ball service from Carlos Small?
Well done to pick out on that far post. I believe it was Cabrera on the far post. But this is a situation here where the exchange, the movement between Small, Cabrera, and Enriquez, and even Bird going forward down the right side has been very good. They have a good understanding of when to fill in the space when the other one vacates a space, so that there's always an attacking player there. There's always an option. So the movement and the top three, those attacking players, Enriquez, Small, and Cabrera, have been very good so far in this match.
Toros have done a nice job, too, of adjusting. We mentioned during the first 3 to 4 minutes of this match, S2 had pretty much exclusive possession.
Yeah.
But the Toros have been able to crack that shell a bit. And again, when they've had the possession, they've been dangerous.
Yeah, what's happening in Seattle, now that they're down a goal, they're trying to press and move that midfield up a little bit higher. So with some smart passing and some good movement off the ball, RGV have been able to get in behind that defense with the run that Small made, and then Cabrera has made those through balls. So that goal by Wharton served them very well very early, because now it opens up Seattle going forward, and Seattle's desperate to get the ball back when they don't have it, and that's just leaving all kinds of space in the back.
That 3-4-3 diamond that we talked about in the open, a new formation for S2. We'll see if Coach Hutchinson wants to stay with that after they give the goal. I mean, you know, coaches, they're a different breed, right?
Yes.
When something doesn't work right away, those superstitions kick in.
Yep. And obviously 4 in the back is very, very common. It's pretty much a staple. And so defensively, if there's a breakdown, the coaches might make that adjustment.
De La Garza sends it back. Donovan moves it to the middle. 22nd minute, 1-0 RGV with the lead. Now up the left side, making another run. Ball sent in towards the middle. Andres Cabrera was the target, but the ball is popped out. And remember, Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. George, I know you're a big free shipping guy.
Oh, yeah. Anything you could get for free, I'm down with that. Yeah, especially if it's food.
And here was nearly a good delivery for RGV. Now S2 on the counter. Through ball sent ahead. Tracking it down, Vargas. Vargas stops it, sends it to the top of the D, where it's headed on. Back and forth we go. Toros have been quick to counter here today.
And what I like about the Toros is that they're very direct. That's a skillful move there by Small.
Small has it working one-on-one. Can he catch back up with it? He can. The cross, left foot shot trickled just wide of the post by Wilmer Andres Cabrera. He was that close.
This is brilliant by Carlos Small and Enriquez as well. Enriquez with the service to Small, but there was a touch in the midfield by Small down that, I should say, down the left flank. He did a little hip swerve, didn't touch the ball and let the ball run through, and that allowed him to get into space. And then that extra move there in the penalty area to get past his marker. And Cabrera made the right move, getting his body toward goal, toward Small. Great square by Small, and Cabrera just missing that near post. But that all started with Enriquez in the midfield, being direct, running at the Seattle midfield, and then setting up Small.
S2 dominating the possession, nearly 60% of it. But they trail in the only stat that matters, 1-0.
It's like a colleague of mine says, possession without purpose. And unfortunately for Seattle, they've had a lot of possession, but without purpose. It hasn't generated anything so far, or very little so far, I should say.
Toros now trying that left side one more time as they reverse the field, and some physicality, and that foul will go against S2. Nick Hines, the guilty party. So this will be a dangerous setup here for Rio Grande Valley. And a bit of extracurricular discussion right now.
Todd Wharton's goal opened up everything, and now down the right side, we saw Eric Bird have some chances down the right side. Carlos Small floating out to the right. That fluidity up top of those three has been excellent. And you can see the pants, a little bit of a pull there on the pants of Morales behind.
So Wharton will serve things up in the 25th minute. He's already got a goal on his resume. Trying to set up an assist. Ball curled in, taken away relatively easily by the S2 back line.
Yeah, that was a design play straight off the training ground. Connor Donovan started in the middle and then looped around, tried to get to that far post. Wharton tried to connect with him. Didn't quite work, but still, you like the creativity of that set piece by RGV.
This time Carlos Small has it taken away. Through the middle of the pitch, David Estrada. With 10 goals so far this season, but George by and large has been mostly a non-factor here this evening.
Absolutely a non-factor, mainly because RGV have done a good job of just keeping him in front of them.
Opeo working one-on-one. He has it taken away.
And getting numbers back defensively for RGV, and then because they've had some good opportunities going forward in attack, that obviously leaves very little touches for Estrada up top for Seattle. But that midfield has just been able to find a way to deny him the ball. There's no creativity through the middle of the pitch, the middle of the field for Seattle. We haven't seen Vargas with too many touches going forward. Daly throughout the middle as well. So you starve a great goal scorer of service. That usually works well for the defense.
It's tough to score without the ball.
Absolutely. Yep. Very simple. Yep. Sometimes it's that simple in the game of soccer.
For as complicated as the formations can be, there are a lot of self-evident truths.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the best teams in the world, they have a guy who can get you 15, 20, 25 goals in a season. Those are the difference makers, and that's the case. I mean, it's simple. Whoever scores the most goals wins, so you want to try to score as many as possible. And although some coaches, they think the 0 is more important than the 1, which I don't understand, but that's a different debate. We won't get into all that. Yeah.
Shandon Opeo with the possession, the native of Hawaii. 19 years old. He was invited to the Real Madrid select camp during his time in high school. I think 30 or 35 players around the world are invited into that. That just shows what people think of his skills.
Yeah, that's important. Real Madrid. If you have Real Madrid
on your resume, yep.
Yeah, they are going to. That means you got some skills.
Here comes RGV on the attack again. Small, the back heel touch. Trying to track it down, but unable to was Eric Bird. Bird, the second round MLS draft pick of Philadelphia back in 2015. Started a match for the Houston Dynamo against the New York Red Bulls just a couple of weeks ago on August 29th. Played 90 minutes in that matchup.
Eric Bird out wide on the right. He's done a good job of playing a little bit deeper. By playing a little bit deeper, he allows Small and Cabrera, and well, Enriquez has been mostly on the left, but it's been Small and Cabrera that have been able to float out wide on the right, and that's because they know they have defensive cover, and because Eric Bird is there behind them deeper, so he's dropping back, giving them the space to operate, and it's been very effective.
And Small has been a threat everywhere out there on the pitch. Right side, left side, up, back, doesn't matter. The ball has seemed to find him. And he's done well with it. As Enriquez is taken down. And the foul will be called. So another set piece coming up for RGV.
This time Enriquez floating out wide to the right. I've been very impressed with the way Small and Enriquez and Cabrera have been able to link up and combine and find those spaces.
Bayo put the arms up. That's how you know he was guilty right away.
Yep. That's the universal sign of I did it when you put your hands up. Yep. I don't know why players continue to do that. Just keep your hands down and keep playing, and maybe you'll fool a referee every now and then, but they put their hands up as if to say, I didn't do it. That means you did it.
So here comes Wharton. Curls it inside the 18. It's popped out and away. Again, relatively easily for S2. But the Toros still have the possession. Ball sent up inside the 18. Keeper comes off the line. to make the grab, so Brown will wing it out. The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow at USL on Twitter. 30th minute, 1-0 RGV with the lead over Sounders FC2. Neil Rule, George Metellus with you. Happy to have you along wherever you may be watching around the world. USL soccer action as the season winds down. This Toros side really put things together as of late. 5-5-3 in their last 13 matchups. And George, they have a couple of impressive wins on the resume. As a matter of fact, they beat Orange County FC twice this year by a 2-0 score. Got a victory over the Real Monarchs as well. The talent's there.
Yeah, the talent is there. It's just a matter of putting it together consistently to get positive results. That is the key. They turned it on a little too late. Unfortunately, they won't make the playoffs. But if you're an RGV fan, you have to be positive about next season and what they can do, and especially now that with this 4-3-3 system that Gerson Erchevetti has, and with Wharton as the man pulling the strings, RGV is a team that next season could make the playoffs, but it's a positive sign for them that they were able to finish the season strong, or they can continue to finish the season strong.
And that is interesting you bring that up. If you are an RGV fan, you like the direction that this club is headed in. Just a -7 goal differential. Keep in mind, they won just one of the first 17 matches, but were able to circle the wagons, especially as of late. These two teams matched up back on April 14th. Seattle Sounders FC2 got the 3-2 win. The possession was 50-50 in that matchup. And talking with the RGV people, that was a story at the beginning of the season. They were always right there, just could never come through with that quality in the final third. And some of their staff joke that's why the goal scorers make $1 million a year over in Europe, because it's not easy to do. It's just not easy to score goals in professional soccer.
Absolutely. Those, like you mentioned, that's where the big bucks come in for sure. As Gonzalez is the one with the yellow card, but it makes a huge difference when you have someone who can finish those chances. I think about Liverpool, for example, after when Luis Suarez was there his last season, I believe they finished second. He left to go to Barcelona. They were 5th, 6th, 8th. They were barely qualifying for Europa League. Then Mohamed Salah comes along and they get the Champions League final. So in between the Suarez and Salah era, they didn't have anyone who could get you finish in the final third, who could get you those 20, 25 league goals, and they struggled. When they got someone who could, they were back on top. I mean, there's countless examples of this throughout soccer. So even here in MLS, you know, you have a situation where Red Bulls with Bradley Wright Phillips. You have now Atlanta United with Joseph Martinez. They're top. They're going to win the Supporters Shield, and he's got 30 goals already. I mean, here in USL last season, I believe with Dane Kelly and Reno, they got to the playoffs because Dane Kelly was scoring goals left and right. So you get a player who can finish, he can get you a lot of goals. You're going to win a lot of games, and you're going to get the playoffs, and you're going to be a championship contender.
And there is an injured player on the field. That is Sam Rogers with the captain's armband. As a training staff out to tend to Rogers. Started 10 matches this year for S2. Was signed professional out of high school, the native of Seattle, Washington. As the training staff stretching out, possibly could be a cramp issue.
And the cramp either in the calf area or looked like it's favoring the Achilles a little bit.
He does have a concerned look on his face. So Rogers will come off the pitch. We will see what the move is for head coach John Hutchinson. Sam Rogers shaking his head. So there will be a substitution. Jalen Markey will come in. And Alfaro will assume the duties of the captain's armband. You see the frustration on Sam Rogers' face. And as we talked about, George, yes, both sides mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Tell me this doesn't matter to that man right there, though, because as we talked about, this professional soccer, you're playing for your life.
Oh, absolutely. And he's a young man that wants to be in the game. He's the captain, so they've given him the responsibility of leading the team. And his team was losing. His team is losing, so he wants to be on the pitch to help his team get back into this match. So that hurts a lot that he won't be able to finish it. And hopefully it's not an injury that's serious or long-term.
Jalen Markey, you just saw on your screen, started one match this year. Originally committed to play collegiately at North Carolina, but ended up going to Oregon State. So he will get a lot of minutes here this evening, as the frustration still on the face of Sam Rogers. We'll see how it effect this has on Sounders FC2. Trailing 1-0 here in the 36th minute. S2 with the possession. Shannon Hopeo played over 1,700 minutes this year for S2. That's what I call a watch player. You said it and forget it.
Yes, yes. He's essential. Every time the coach picks up the starting 11, you know Hopeo is going to be in the mix there. That is a lot of minutes. He definitely needs massages after every game, because that's a lot of. That hurts.
He's living that George Metellus life, getting on that massage table on the reg.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh man, I need to find out that kind of who that is.
Tony Alfaro will drop it back.
That's a sweet life right there.
Marlon Vargas through the middle. Brings it out wide. Some extended possession here for S2. They're unable to crack that final third.
It's a static situation right now for S2. Not much movement off the ball. That's because RGV is marking very well and they're getting numbers back. So they're limiting the spaces that the players can run into. You see they're forcing Seattle to play the ball backwards.
When Carlos Small is doing a good job of being selective in his challenges.
Yeah, he is. And he closed down on Jesse Daly there. Daly is a key player that three-man back line for Seattle, because he has to connect the attack with the defense.
And that foul will be called. I called it in anticipation of the whistle because we saw the jersey being pulled of Nick Hines. I will say this, Nick Hines has been a problem. When he's had the possession, he's made some things happen, as you see right here.
And he has been the most dangerous attacking player for Seattle in this match. I thought that should be a yellow card. De La Garza almost rips the jersey off of his body there. De La Garza getting away with a foul there, or getting away with a violation that should have been a yellow card. But to your point, Hines has definitely been the best or most dangerous attacking player going forward for Seattle down that left side, that left flank.
Shannon Hopeo standing over. Instead, the right foot service, making a back post run, but unable to connect. S2 with one of their more dangerous chances of the evening so far.
Yes, and I thought that this was set up perfectly for the number 92, Rodrigue L. He was unmarked in the area, and I think the ball was intended to go to the back post, but he was able to break through, and he appeared to be, he was onside. I think if he had made a little bit of effort, or if the ball is a little bit lower, keeps it down, he had a free header. Look at LA bursting through there. He had the position inside the number 92. He had the position inside of Sheldon Sullivan. That play designed to go back post. That ball is sent in a little bit closer to LA. I think he would have had a great header on frame. Missed opportunity for Seattle.
And it's a first half that hasn't really seen a lot of quality opportunities for S2, who started this matchup with good possession. RGV, the first time they had a good look at it, though, put it in the back of the net as Todd Wharton scored from about 35 yards out. And that is where we stand.
Yeah, the best chance for Seattle for S2 was when Hines broke through, and then Seitz cut off the angle, made a great save. But other than that, RGV have been able to control the possession, control the rhythm, been pretty comfortable in this match, especially defensively, dropping back, getting numbers back, and keeping their shape, keeping themselves organized.
Lions will drop it off. Hopeo one more time. But again, the door is just shut for S2, and they have to regroup. Back they go one more time. Alfaro. Down to the middle. Li with it. And it's played up, and again, George, just not much going on.
Yeah, nothing. They can't go through the middle because the numbers back for RGV have been fantastic. They're keeping it organized, trying to push everything out wide. It's easier to defend crosses than intricate passes through the middle of the defense.
That ball cleared out. And fans, you can watch highlights of every game from the 2018 season and stay up to date with news from across USL at the league's official Facebook page as the ball is buried in the back of the net. It's another goal for RGV. Eric Bird this time strikes. And it's 2-0 Toros.
Oh, a leaky Seattle defense, and Eric Bird takes advantage of it for the second goal. This one coming off of a throw. Oh, and this is good skill by Eric Bird, but also some very lackadaisical, lazy, kind of soft defending here. Daly getting the head onto it, but look, no one else comes over to collapse, and Eric Bird using his strength to get past Daly. It's a matchup in which Eric Bird wins. It is just determination on his part, but he comes off of a throw-in. That's disappointing if you're John Hutchinson of Seattle. Hard work there by Eric Bird to get that goal. Stronger and a little more forceful than Jesse Daly. And
Jesse Daly at 20 years old, and Eric Bird, who has matches in the MLS under his belt this season, and it showed.
Yeah, the experience, the guile, the confidence, all in favor of Eric Bird.
First goal this season for Bird, another cross. As Bird has it again, he'll try it one more time. And it's headed away.
Yeah, he had Enriquez open in that far post. It would have been difficult for him to connect with Cabrera or Small because they were both surrounded by about 4 Seattle defenders. But lots of space. There was plenty of time and space down that right side for Bird. Both flanks for RGV have had a lot of time and space, whether on the right side or the left side. So you could see some more goals for RGV going into the second half.
Sounders FC2 with the possession again, which they've had 63% of the possession here today. But the Toros have just closed the door 9 times out of 10 here this evening. There just has been nothing to work with but a good reversal of the pitch. But again, taken away one more time. Here's Small with it, looking to counter. Doesn't have numbers, but stays with it. Wanted the foul call, but won't see that by the official.
Yeah, I thought that was a foul in favor of RGV there. Referee lets it go.
Sounders FC2 still looking for their first win on the road this season. And they are up against it. Down by 2 at HEB Park. Rio Grande Valley has played some pretty good soccer in their home stadium. As we talked about, they've defeated Orange County FC this year, the class of the Western Conference. They so far with another good performance here in Texas.
In Seattle, we've seen Hines down the left side. You mentioned he's been their most dangerous player, but we've seen very little from Bert Gilroy or Azriel Gonzalez down the right side. In fact, Bert Gilroy has had to drop back and kind of play right back occasionally when RGV bursts forward. That's taken away some of that bite, some of the balance that Seattle could have in attack. It's been almost exclusively down the left side with Hines, and that makes it very easy for a defense when you only have to really worry about one side of the pitch.
Here's Hines with it. Tried to go through. Wharton will play it back. The keeper sights. Will pop it up.
And the way RGV's defense is set up, it's going to take someone like Hines, who is going to have to just beat his defender one-on-one.
2 minutes of stoppage time will be added. That was the injury situation mostly with Sam Rogers. But you brought up some good points, though, partner. Burt Gilroy's a guy that's a capable attacker, has a couple of goals so far this season. But as you said, he's just been completely removed from this match so far.
Yeah, it has been tough because Seattle, even though they've had the possession, because of the way RGV is organized, they got those two lines of four. They've kept them flat. They've kept their shape. And so they haven't even been able to kind of work the ball around to get it on the right side. And because of Hines and his effectiveness, they've kind of favored that right side. Well, not kind of. They have favored that left side. And so Burt Gilroy hasn't been able to have, I don't think we've even called his name once in terms of a touch on the ball. So and that's something that Seattle is going to have to work on. They have to open up this defense by working both sides of their formation in order to get a goal here and get back into this game.
Connor Donovan plays it up. And the Toros, I think, would just assume take this 2-0 lead to the locker room. That ball not exactly aggressively sent back to the keeper, and Brown had to be on his toes to clear it.
And Brown has made a couple of interventions that have prevented the scoreline from being worse for S2. That was an important one right there.
Andreas Cabrera with a strong effort. The pass, though, is taken away. And the foul will be called. So the Toros now with a quick restart. It's curled in towards the 18, just over top, headed away. And the whistle sounds, and 45 minutes are in the rearview mirror. And Sounders FC2 would like to keep it that way. RGV jumps out to the 2-0 lead here at the half. We'll take our first halftime break. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the numbers and all the news and notes from the USL. 2-0. RGV with the lead. We'll be right back. This is USL Soccer. Halftime at HEB Park. The Toros with a 2-0 lead over Seattle Sounders FC2. Neil Rule, George Metellus back with you through 45 minutes of play as we take a look at what's on the horizon for these two squads as they finish off the regular season. For Rio Grande Valley FC, they will hit the road coming up next to take on Reno 1868 FC. And they will finish things out in the middle of October at San Antonio. And as we look at what Sounders FC2 has on the horizon, a matchup with San Antonio FC coming up, and then they will finish things off. So both these sides, George, as we talked about, you look at the opponents that are on the schedule, they will have a say in who goes where in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely, especially when you look at Rio Grande Valley. They have 3 of their next 4 on the road, and 2 of them against a match against Reno and a match against San Antonio, 2 teams that are right there on the 7th, 8th place for Western Conference. So they will play spoiler to some team.
They will no doubt have a say as to what goes down in terms of the USL playoff picture. 2-0, RGV with the lead. We'll be right back. This is USL Soccer.
Takes a shot, and that one is good.
And so Francis tapped over the bar by Dan Lind.
Shank cutting it across, the shot is on and in. Hernandez. Tipped over the bar by Perino. That's number 1 at his best. Here's Saeed. Goal! Oh my goodness! Off the Adi, a save is made by Patterson Sewell. To the right foot of Rio Shekel.
David Olsen goes for goal, tipped up by Wazinski.
Tsubasa Endo with a great-looking strike. Endo with some room. Takes a strike. Endo hits it and has a hat trick. Force lasso! Oh, look at Fernando Adi. Into the box. Fernando Adi, far post. Into the box. Corbin Bone! Corbin Bone heads it in! With that goal, Manu Ledesma sets a new USL record for assists in a season.
Goal and a score! Incredible goal!
Tampa Bay. He'll try and send one in on the ground. Score! And his service in finds the back of the net.
Wow. It's headed back across and down and in. And is buried into the back of the net.
This could be their moment. It's Baril. Yes.
Ball to Decker, and what a shot at the corner of the net. Right-footed shot, and he has it. And St. Louis has stolen a goal. Now headed in for a goal. Oh, and St. Louis has done it.
And there it is. He's just scored.
Minute Sharp turns the near post, is scored.
Bends it in. Brett is denied and stopped again.
Tambaki's got just enough of a look at it.
And he puts it in. Rips that shot. Followed up and in. And he puts his team ahead once again.
Two 2-0 RGV with the lead over Seattle Sounders FC2 through 45 minutes of play. Eric Bird with the goal, Todd Wharton with a goal as well. Let's take a look at the news and notes from around the USL. And right there on the first line, a major league-wide announcement coming up Tuesday at 1 p.m. George, you're the insider. Give me the scoop. Nobody's told me anything.
It's an announcement that we won the Powerball.
Oh, there it is. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we'll be on a roll, just like Swope Park's Haji Berry. 7 consecutive games with a goal.
That's impressive for Swope Park, who they need those goals because they are in a playoff push. And so Haji Berry doing beautiful things like Halle Berry with the game, yeah.
Las Vegas parts ways with El Shalis, so a coaching change for the Lights.
Yeah, well, if we hit the Powerball, he might need some money there because he's out of a job. It's unfortunate. Vegas expansion team, they're not going to make the playoffs. He's kind of a outspoken, some say controversial manager, so it's unfortunate he couldn't continue on. But he certainly has Vegas going in the right direction.
And we will also check out the Golden Boot race. Cameron Lancaster for Louisville, 2 clear of Daniel Rios, the nearest contender. So George, as it sits right now, it's his Golden Boot to lose.
Yeah, and he has to continue to put him in over the line into the back of the net for Louisville to continue to maintain that playoff position in the Eastern Conference. So if he can continue to score goals, we said it during the first half, someone who can get you 20, 25 league goals, your team will be championship contenders. Louisville is definitely championship contender.
I'll go out on a limb and say Cameron Lancaster is going to get there. You get those kinds of bold predictions from me, George, when I'm involved. 2-0, Rio Grande Valley FC with the lead. S2 with a steep uphill climb in the second 45. Can they do it? We'll find out coming up next. Welcome back to HEB Park. Second half on the horizon. 2-0. Rio Grande Valley FC, the Toros, with the lead over Seattle Sounders FC2. Neil Rule, George Metellus, back with you. A warm night in Edinburgh, Texas, as they're all warm nights. Game time temperature at 84 degrees. Let's take a look at how we got to this scoreline and everything that went down in the first half. Sounders 2, George, came out with some very good possession, but the second RGV got an opportunity, they took advantage.
Yeah, they sure did. They were able to use that front three. Cabrera, Enriquez, and Small, they worked the ball around very well. Great movement, but it's Todd Wharton. He is the man that makes everything go. He is their key playmaker, and they gave him a lot of space. This one, just look at the knucklers. No spin on it. That makes it hard for the goalkeeper to read. There were a couple of bodies in front of him as well, and he was able to get it over the line into the back net just 5 minutes in. That was huge because then RGV can settle and play the way they wanted to play. Best chance of the match for Seattle comes here. Maybe an extra touch too much. One too many touches there for Nick Hines, who was their best player going forward in that first half. And then well done by Sykes to cut down the angle. But having that goal advantage and the way RGV wanted to play, it was just set up perfectly. And then Carlos Small was a nuisance to the Seattle Sounders 2 defense the entire game. Great cutback there. And then Cabrera, smart to make that run toward the ball. Just couldn't sneak it in that near post.
You said it right. Small has been a factor for RGV. but a tremendous individual effort by Eric Bird would double the Toros' lead. How about this effort?
Yeah, this is a situation where in the penalty area, obviously they didn't want to commit the penalty, so they got a little lax. They got a little soft on the defending, and Eric Bird showing his skill off the throw-in to score a second goal. And RGV, even though they didn't have the majority of the possession, more shots on target, and obviously more goals. They've been the better side going forward in that first half.
Possession does not tell the story here this evening. RGV much more dangerous than Sounders FC2 has been through 45 minutes of play, something that must change if S2 wants to get back into this matchup. They will have 45 minutes to do so, trailing by 2. S2 still looking for their first road win of the season, George.
Yeah, and for S2, you like the fact that they had all that possession, but we said in the first half, possession without purpose. What was the purpose of having 63% possession when you got outshot by a team that had a whole lot less? So what adjustments John Hutchinson will make in the second half are going to be crucial. And in like any other major professional sport, adjustments made at halftime will ultimately decide the result. So we will see what happens in the next 45 minutes.
Let's take a look at the key matchups coming up for the Western Conference. We've been talking about the playoff picture and how things will shake out. And there's a look at the matchups that will matter coming up this week. And you see there, George, it's still a race right now in terms of where everyone will go in that Western Conference. Of course, Orange County trying to officially close the door and claim that Western Conference crown.
Yeah, and we just saw that Las Vegas lost their coach as well, so Orange County could take advantage of a Vegas side that's vulnerable. That could be a huge 3 points there. Phoenix, if they can pick up, they are second in the West, so if they pick up 3 points against St. Louis, that's huge. That could also knock St. Louis out of the top 8, and Reno with a victory could also do that as well. So these next couple of weeks are going to be important for teams not only to make the playoffs, but also in terms of the seeding.
St. Louis FC really come out of nowhere in the beginning of August, and they really put things together and made the charge up the Western Conference table. Will they be able to finish? We will see as the weeks shake out. The official sounds the whistle, and we are up and running in the second half. Neil Rule, George Metellus with you. Happy to have you along at HEB Park in Edinburgh, Texas. 2-0 RGV with the lead. George, what does S2 have to do to mount a threat?
Well, I think for S2, playing that 3 in the back just might not be the right formation for them. The right move tactically. They might have to just go 4 in the back. And then also, with that 4 in the back, they're going to have to take chances with those wing backs. So that means Burt Gilroy, if he drops back to that right back position, he's going to have to be more active going forward. They're going to play 3 in the back, it looks like, but I think going back to 4 in the back might be better, get deeper runs from the wing backs, but also they have to find a way to get something going through the middle. That means Daly and Vargas are going to have to be more active and sucking in that defense, bringing him toward the middle.
Left foot shot on frame, and the save is made by Seitz as he goes down to the turf to scoop it up.
And you see early on, right, and that's what they needed to do. In the middle, they had some space there, and they were able to get a shot on frame. Seattle can just find a way to work the ball through the middle. Estrada getting more touches. Vargas, Daly, Hopeo, I think they can break down RGV's defense. Remember, 2-0 is always a very dangerous lead in soccer. Teams come back from 2-0 all the time. So Seattle is not out of it by any stretch.
Just human nature to know you have that pad.
Yeah.
And you don't intentionally do it, but you just go a little bit softer than you might if it were a 1-goal deficit or a 1-goal lead. As that foul goes against S2. But George, we see S2 answering the bell here early on and creating some chances.
Yeah, well, if you're on the road especially, you have to create chances, and you have to create them early in the respective halves. In this case, the second half. They're down 2 goals on the road. They want to get a goal quickly. You want to get a goal as quickly as possible, take away that momentum and confidence and the positive energy of the home team.
Oh, and Alfaro making a bit of a mess of it. as the keeper Brown comes off the line to make the grab and settle things down.
Someone is going to have to run at that defense for Seattle. Run at the RGV defense and break them down. Because no, they weren't threatened, especially as I mentioned, through the middle. They weren't threatened through the middle in that first half. So someone is going to have to take the initiative to be more aggressive going forward.
We are seeing more of field reversals here for S2. Just trying to get that RGV line moving from side to side to create a seam.
Well, it looks like what Seattle has done is Marlon Vargas, who started out in the middle in the kind of number 10 role, if you will, behind the strikers, behind the forwards, he's moved out wide to the right. And it looks like they put Burt Gilroy in the middle. So those two have flip-flop positions, trying to get a little more width. Maybe use Gilroy's pace and his skills in the middle to try and break down the RGV defense. So a little bit of a tweak there in terms of the positioning of the players for Seattle.
De La Garza drops it back. Todd Wharton swings it to the right side. Wharton has a goal here today, about 30 to 35 yards out. A beautiful strike. That got things rolling. Some good build-up now. Andres Cabrera has it punched away. Jesus Enriquez will win a throw-in. So we're here in the 50th minute. Really the first time that RGV has spent in the final third of S2 here in the second half. But they are afforded that luxury. They have the 2-goal lead. One-on-one play on the right side, defended nicely. Alfaro wanted a handball. And that cross will be picked up off the turf. Kelly Brown.
That looked like a pretty obvious handball to me. I'm surprised the referee let it go. I know it wasn't intentional, but still, it was a handball nevertheless. But now we're seeing, that's Anthony Burt Gilroy, 98. He's moved into the middle now. They want to get him involved. He had zero influence, maybe one touch in that first half. They moved him to the middle.
Maybe you want to get him in a better position to be attacking.
Absolutely, yep.
As he does have a couple of goals this year, scored against Las Vegas back on July 26th. Here comes S2 through the middle to the top of the D. Wharton played it away, but before that, the whistle and the foul called against Seattle.
Oh, that is a tough break for Seattle because
offsides, excuse me.
Tough break for Seattle.
That ball will scoot across the box. Chris Seitz will grab it. Seitz played 4 matches this season for the Houston Dynamo. A 1-3-2 mark, had a clean sheet against Atlanta back on March 3rd, which is no small feat given the way they score goals. Martinez has, what, about 150 so far this year.
Like that,
Here comes an attack for S2. Estrada's left-footed shot is blocked.
I mean, the way Martinez has been playing.
I think he's got about 150 goals this year. Is that what it is?
Yeah. However much the Powerball is, that's how many goals he scored. I'm sorry, I just want
to. You are locked into this Powerball here tonight.
I could use the money. I'm telling you, I sure would.
You saying you got some debts to pay, George? Is that what it is? Enriquez turning with it.
Visa and MasterCard own my life right now. My goodness. But Seattle have come out obviously down 2 goals. They've come out very, very active. They're being more aggressive in terms of the pressing on the RGV midfield. They want to get that ball quickly and turn it over so that they can attack and get into their final third. So you got to like the intensity from Seattle in the second half. The question is, can they sustain it? They have to get these goals quickly.
The foul will go against RGV. You saw the shot earlier of their head coach, Gershon Echeverri. Was a third-team All-American when he played for Seton Hall back in 1991. Also made an appearance for the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars in the MLS. RGV's assistant coach is Brett Utley. Their goalkeeper coach, Carlos Ortiz. 53rd minute, 2-0. RGV, the Toros, continuing to lead.
New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. I haven't heard that in a while.
Long time.
That's a while, yep.
Just wanted to get that mention in more or less. That's why I said it.
Yeah, okay.
Jesse Daly has it taken away. Toros looking to counter through the middle. There's Enriquez. He's been a guy that's made a lot of things go here tonight.
Enriquez, the way he's been able to move and connect with Cabrera and Carlos Small has been impressive.
Kyle Adams with a nice header, covered about 20 yards of space. Enriquez again in the middle, will turn back. But these are the little things that RGV, this again a luxury that they're afforded, nearly a costly turnover. When you have that 2-goal lead, you can be picky about what you want to do.
Absolutely, and the fact that they are knocking the ball around right now works in their favor. That makes Seattle more desperate. Look, Seattle's gonna press higher. They're gonna commit more men higher to try and win the ball, which leaves more space open in the back for a player like Carlos Small, or in this case, Bird, to go forward. So that 2-goal advantage is so crucial. They got those 2 goals in that first half.
Eric Bird goes to Wharton. Wharton with a shot just wide of the frame. Todd Wharton, dangerous one more time.
And because of the players pushing forward for Seattle, desperate to win that ball, or pressing so high, it gave Wharton a lot of space, and they moved the ball quickly. And Wharton, an intelligent player, just unable to finish it, but he didn't miss by much. But look how much time and space he had to take that shot. And look at Cabrera bursting through. So maybe with another extra touch and a head up, maybe he could have slid it through to Cabrera as well.
Opeo to the middle, threads it through. Stepping up, save made again by Seitz. Boy, how good has Chris Seitz been this evening?
Oh, Chris Seitz makes a massive save, because this is a slick ball through the middle for Seattle. And Seitz desperate to keep that clean sheet, but you talked about his experience in MLS, and it shows there. Look how quickly he cut down the angle to prevent a goal. Well done by Chris Seitz, and some lackadaisical marking there by RGV.
Israel Gonzalez serves the corner. Gonzalez had the game-winning goal in S2's victory over RGV. Here comes a developing situation. Way off the line is Brown. But now it's Enriquez. He'll try the chip, but Brown got back. Enriquez, you could tell, couldn't get everything he wanted on it.
Yeah, but Brown bailed out Rodrigue Eli back there. Eli committed and went for the ball. He lost it, and that allowed Cabrera to burst through. And Brown reading the play beautifully and able to do a little Manuel Neuer sweeper keeper and clear it away. So well done by Cali Brown to preserve the 2 goals deficit, because if a 3rd goal for RGV could secure the 3 points for the home side.
Rodrigue Eli with it. 20-year-old Eli with a 67% aerial success rate, which if you're a defender, you get up above that 2/3 mark, you're doing some work.
Oh yeah, for sure. And with Seattle, and they've been struggling to run a play, if they can get a set piece opportunity and float that ball in the area, that could work in their favor as well. So positive numbers there.
That ball touched across the line by Jesse Daly. Substitution coming for the Toros. Nicolas Pereira will be coming in. And coming out is that man, Wilmer Andres Cabrera. Pereira in, Andres Cabrera out.
Be interesting to see where Pereira fits in here, where he plays, and what tactical adjustment, who moves up to that center forward spot.
Here comes Vargas through the midfield, set up. The ball is loose. Estrada goes to the turf. Wants a penalty awarded, will not get it. That's the kind of night it's been so far for David Estrada.
That's the second time, Neil, that we've seen Seattle get into that penalty area, and Seitz has to make some kind of quick intervention.
Enriquez again, working one-on-one. Enriquez with the right foot, not Not much of a challenge for Brown. Jesus Enriquez couldn't get everything he wanted on that effort.
And we're starting to see Enriquez with that space cutting into his right. He's going to right at goal. I thought he would try to maybe bend it, kind of get it far post there. Didn't quite get the touch on it that he wanted. But going back to that last chance for Seattle. Seattle now, we're seeing them get those slicing passes through the middle, and they're cutting up that RGV defense through the middle, and they're looking more and more dangerous as Sites has had to bail out Rio Grande Valley Toros a couple of occasions here. That's got to continue for Seattle in order to get back in this game, get a chance at a point at least.
Wide on the right, Toros on the attack. The cross gets all the way through. Enriquez tries to find Small. Small unable to get on the end of it. 50-50 ball. Perea collided.
And that is some good end-to-end action here between Toros and the Sounders, as Sounders too, I should say.
Enriquez getting some instruction, and there is Opeo back up to his feet after that collision with Perea. But S2 far more dangerous here in the second half than they have been, but Estrada unable to do what he wanted to with it.
Yeah, I think Estrada, if he just one times that shot, he
Right.
was lucky. It fell for him. That was a good ball, at least good thought there by Vargas to play it over the top, and it fell for him. If he one times it, I think we're looking at a 2-1 score line, but instead he takes an extra touch, tries to draw the penalty, and it doesn't go his way. And this is something that I never understand, or that I don't want to say confuses me, but kind of irritates me a little bit, is why strikers in the area try to draw penalties instead of go on goal. You see that a lot, and I think that was a mistake Estrada made there. One time that shot, go for it instead of trying to draw a penalty. Didn't work out in his favor there. Could have been 2-1. So Seattle ruined those chances, and as they say, the goals you don't score usually get scored on you.
Nick Hines, who was shaken up on the play, will come out. Ibrahim Uzman will come in, and that's a blow to S2. Nick Hines, by far their most dangerous player in the first half.
Yeah, for sure. Been quiet in the second half because he's had to drop back, and I saw him a couple times kind of playing the left back role. They wanted to get him more involved, maybe make deeper runs, so he was dropping back a little bit deeper. But the fact that he's come off is a blow to Seattle, because he definitely was their most dangerous attacking player in this match.
Nick Hines tonight starting his 15th match. Continuing to develop as a player, just a young 20-year-old. Future looking bright for him. Carlos Small in the middle. RGV looking to go on the attack against Small with a nice touch. Small sends it up ahead. Making the run is Bird. Can he get there? No, but he will win a corner.
And Carlos Small showing his versatility. Not only can he play in the area, but you've seen him float out wide on the right, make some skillful crosses, now dropping deeper in the midfield and trying to set up his teammates as well. Now that Cabrera is off and Perea has come in, there's going to be more room up top for Small and Enriquez to operate in that. Also, Bird could be pushing up a little more as well. So, very smart move by Gerson Echeverri to move Small up top there, move him up a little higher.
Wharton will serve the corner, sends it in short. Played off the right foot by Connor Donovan, but wide of the post. And speaking of the post, stay up to date with all the best from social media around the USL by watching Off the Post with Kelsey Steele every Friday evening on the USL's social media channels. Neil Rule, George Metellus with you. 62nd minute. Heading into the 63rd, 2-0 RGV with the lead over Sounders 2. Happy to have you with us wherever you're watching around the world. Jalen Markey moves it to the middle. Much more game S2 attack here in the second half. They haven't been able to get one behind sights. Carlos Small will challenge, but not able to catch up with it. And George, I really see Carlos Small working right now. He's lurking, just waiting for that opportunity.
Yeah, he sure is. And what the substitution of Perea did is morphed into a 4-2-3-1. So Carlos Small is by himself up top, and he's got more room to operate.
Cross served in. Seitz will make that grab with little difficulty. The former Maryland Terrapin.
So Carlos Small is up top by himself, and with his pace and his ability, that makes him more dangerous because he's by himself. He has more room to move around and operate. So it's Perea and Wharton as that kind of double pivot, as they say, those two holding midfielders behind the attacking line of three, with Bird in the middle and then Morales on one side and Enriquez on the other side, on the right, I should say, and then Cabrera up top, or excuse me, Carlos Small up top. So you're going to look, it's even more frightening for the Seattle defense, having Carlos Small with all that space to operate up top.
AJ De La Garza was unable to catch up with that pass. So this whole possession here, George, is found money for S2.
Yeah.
Everything that happens from here on out is off that mistake.
Yep, they have to capitalize on that mistake. They have to find a way to finish.
That guy's wig is not a mistake, however.
Yeah.
That's real as it gets.
Well, I don't know. The way it looks on him, it looked like it was a mistake.
No, man, it looked like a very solid play in my eyes.
You think so?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
man.
Okay.
He was feeling it. He had the blue and the orange.
Well, if his wife picked it out, then it's not a mistake. Yeah, then.
I guarantee you his wife did not pick that up.
Oh, okay.
As a married man, I can say that.
Oh, okay.
With unequivocal certainty.
If the wife picks it out, it's never a mistake.
Enriquez tries to find Small. I will play it back to the keeper. Brown sends it up towards the middle. 65th minute.
But the fans are having fun, and that's the beauty of USL soccer, and the beauty of this stadium is you go out, you have fun, you wear different color wigs, it's all good as long as you're having a good time, and that's part of the experience.
Speaking with their head coach, Gershon Echeverri, earlier this week, he said it's a great atmosphere there in HEB Park. Some very passionate fans. That ball served in, served right back out. Throw-in coming for S2. But you can see, and we've shown you the shots really all night of HEB Park. The suites down there at suite level. This is an elite stadium to watch a soccer match in.
Oh yeah, some of the shots, the shots that we had of the stadium. The seats are nice. The views are unimpeded. You know, clear view of the pitch. Good angles from everywhere. It really is a beautiful place to watch a soccer match in. And hopefully RGV can turn things around and get some playoff soccer up in here in a couple of next season. They have quality on this team. There's quality on the squad to be a team that finishes in the top 8 in the West.
Ball served up towards Estrada. Can he catch up with it? He can. But he could not win the corner. We've talked about it here all night long. Rio Grande Valley FC Toros 5-5-3 in their last 13 matches. And this is the same side that won just one of their first 17 matches. Substitution coming on. Bryce Marion will come on. Played his college soccer at Stanford. Coming off, Brandon Morales. So Morales, who made his USL debut here tonight, the first ever Toros Academy signee to make the squad. So a big moment in RGV franchise history as Marion will come on.
And Brandon Morales played very well. It was a quiet match for him, but he didn't get beat defensively. He was able to contribute and help out in attack with some subtle touches and some subtle movements here and there. And for a player making his debut, didn't make any mistakes that cost his team a goal or anything like that. So it was a good debut for him. And Gerson Echeverri you could see him on the sideline, give him a hug, the smile on his face. If the manager, the coach gives you a smile, then you probably had a very good debut. So well done by Brandon Morales.
Oh, and by the way, he's 18.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's 18 out there.
Oh.
To be 18 again.
18 again, yeah. Well, I wish I was a professional soccer player at 18.
That was 3 years ago for me.
Oh, that's it. You don't look a day over 19.
Yeah. 68th minute. S2 still trying to break through.
One thing, good adjustment there by Echeverri, the manager. We mentioned how they've changed to a 4-2-3-1 with Perea and Wharton in front of that back line. That's added some more defensive shape to them. It's made it harder for Seattle to go through the middle. Since they made that change, Seattle hasn't been able to build their attack through the middle. Smart tactical decision there.
Enriquez wants the handball, won't get it. They will keep the pressure on in the corner. Ball played up towards midfield. S2 gives it away. Enriquez has it one more time. Working against the defender. Second defender comes over. Enriquez. This time foiled, at least temporarily. And S2 will get the throw in.
And well done by S2. They had to keep Enriquez in front of him because Bird was at the top of the penalty area. Carlos Small was there on the elbow, if you will, to borrow a basketball term there, elbow of the penalty area. So a decent service by Enriquez, and you get it to one of those two in that part of the field. It could have been a third goal for RGV.
David Olson will come in for S2. Vargas comes out. So John Hutchinson right now making the moves. And this is about the time in the match where you begin to see the chess pieces really fly around the board as we get into the 70th minute. With S2 trailing by 2.
And they tried to put Vargas out wide. Hasn't quite worked. Well, it worked a little bit in terms of getting Burt Gilroy in the middle. They looked dangerous for a few minutes. Things have calmed down, and RGV have been able to kind of snuff that out. Olsen will try to be marauding down that right side of the Seattle attack.
Just interesting numbers here today. S2 with 61% edge in possession. They've also won the duels. They've won in the air big time. Here comes Small. Played away at the last possible moment. Tony Alfaro did the job. S2 dominating all the statistical categories, but see that scoreboard up in the upper left-hand corner of your screen? Tells a different story.
Yes, for sure. It's RGV have been able to finish their chances, but they've also been more direct as well.
Absolutely.
That's been key.
And they might get another chance here. The pass for Enriquez poked away. There's that man again, Carlos Small, just running all over the pitch. This time hit with the foul call.
Yeah, when you play as a lone striker and you have a 2-goal advantage, you cannot linger up top by yourself. You have to track back and help out defensively. And Carlos Small showing that he can do that, that he's willing to do it. That's the main thing. And also, he has the fitness levels to do it, because for a lone striker to play up high and then track all the way back to help out defensively, you need to be in shape. And he is in fantastic shape, but also he is buying into the mentality that Echeverri wants his team to play.
And you're doing that in Edinburgh, Texas as well.
It's not 70-degree weather
no.
now, yeah.
No, it is not. At a real feel of 91 at the opening kick. There is Small. Goes to the left side. Enriquez, as he's done often here tonight, with the possession. Works it back up top. Perea moves to the right with it.
It's easier to deal with the heat when you're up 2-0.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When you're up 2-0, you're a little more willing to run in the heat than if you're losing.
Perea again challenging. Nicholas Perea, the substitute in college soccer at Syracuse, had the game-tying goal against the Switchbacks last time out for RGV. Throw-in coming up now for Seattle as we move towards the 73rd minute. So this, George, is about the time of the match where the screws begin to tighten a little bit if you're Seattle.
Yeah, this is when Seattle are going to start to get a little more desperate here, pushing forward. You can see, look, almost all 10 outfield players are in their attacking half. This leaves them very vulnerable to a quick counterattack. If RGV can get a quick turnover in the midfield, You got Small running out of defense with a lot of space. You have Enriquez running out of defense with a lot of space. Marion, who's fresh legs, running out of defense with a lot of space. We could see a third goal for RGV very quickly here if Seattle aren't disciplined and if they make some mistakes in the midfield.
Sheldon Sullivan was down for a couple moments there. Sullivan also played collegiately at Virginia. He played every minute as a freshman for that Cavs national title team in 2014. Think about that for a minute.
Wow, every minute as a freshman for
on a national title win.
Wow, that is talent. He is definitely a very talented player.
Started 14 matches coming into tonight for RGV.
Very impressive for Sheldon Sullivan.
You see him down there at the bottom of the screen. He's got that stout build too. He's a problem to have to deal with. If you're an attacker, you don't want to see that cat cross away.
and basically we haven't, because Seattle hasn't had much down that right side of their attack, the left side of the Rio Grande Valley defense. Part of that is because of Sheldon Sullivan and what he's been able to do, his marking. So he's locked down his half of the pitch. Deion Sanders actually.
Here's Jesus Enriquez on the move. RGV looking to go in possibly for the kill. Pass sent towards the left. Was played away. Perea will get it back. Enriquez again. Jesus Enriquez stepping over to the top of the D. Right foot shot wide by Eric Bird. Bird making a bid for a brace.
And it's the second time in this half we have seen Enriquez cut into his right and then lay it off for one of his teammates to get a shot on frame. It was Todd Wharton about 10-15 minutes earlier. This time it's Eric Bird. And they collapse, and look at, he draws two players toward him, and Bert Gilroy coming over late. And that's another chance there for RGV. They've just been very smart in how they've attacked the Seattle defense, with Enriquez running at them. Cabrera when he was on the pitch as well. So it's been a very smart game plan by Gerson Echeverri.
Wharton goes wide to the right side. RGV on the attack. Corner is won for the Toros. How well do you know the USL? Test your knowledge in USLsoccer.com's weekly picks competition every week. You could win tickets to an upcoming USL game of your choice. So go to USLsoccer.com and get in. I always like a good pick'em game, man. That's always a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. If I had a choice, I want to see Orange County against Phoenix, top two teams in the West, or Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, top two teams in the East.
Corner served, headed on, it's in the back of the net. It's a goal for the Toros, a 3-0 lead. Pereira, the man that leveled the match last time out against the Switchbacks, may have put the final nail in the S2 coffin here.
This is just pure desire right here. First of all, great service by Wharton. Perea just able to get off of his marker enough, create a little bit of space, and then a fantastic header. That is the responsibility of Rodrigue Ele. He was supposed to be the one that's marking Perea. Perea just creates a little bit of space and gets that header on. And I think it's safe to say here, RGV, barring some kind of miraculous comeback here, they might just lock up the 3 points here.
So that is goal number 2 for Nicolas Perea, and that is goal number 2 in the last 2 matches. He has come on here towards the end, which has been a running theme, as we've talked about with Rio Grande Valley FC. They are looking for their 6th win in their last 14 matches.
Super sub Nicolas Perea, 6th win in their last 14 when you consider, what was it, 1 win?
One out of the first 17.
Ooh, what a turnaround. That is a brilliant turnaround.
With a sweep of Orange County.
The number 1 team in the West.
With a victory over Real Monarchs as well.
Wow.
This team's going to be a factor, folks, I'm telling you, coming up next year.
They just next year they just have to make sure it's, you know, 1 loss in 17 matches, not 1 win in 17 matches.
Well, they always say you can't qualify for the playoffs at the beginning of the season.
Right.
But you can certainly make sure you don't qualify. They just cannot get off to another start like that. But you have to like what you've seen coming down the stretch here from RGV.
Oh, and especially when you consider the way Cabrera, Enrique Small, Bird, and Wharton have all combined, the way they work together. They look very dangerous. So this is a bright team for the future, a team that has a bright future, I should say.
Jalen Markey had it for a second, chipped up towards the 18. That's over top of the target. That was David Olson. And fans, you can get an inside look at life on and off the field from a player's perspective every Wednesday evening in the latest edition of From the Pitch on USLsoccer.com. At the next stoppage, we will get another sub for RGV. Jordan Jones set to come in. But before that, De La Garza with it. Goes to Small. Small's been good here tonight. Hasn't figured in the scoring. If you watch this match, you know he's been as good as anyone out there on the pitch. Jesse Daly to the middle, and the substitution now will be made. Jordan Jones will come in, and Carlos Small will come out.
Well, Carlos Small definitely had a big impact in this game. Did not score, but the way he was able to move off the ball, create opportunities, and have a presence in the attack for RGV was crucial. So despite his last name, he did not have a small influence. He had a big impact in his game. He had a great game, certainly well-deserved. But he comes off in style and comes off with a positive feedback from his coach.
Jordan Jones comes on, 3rd round pick of LAFC in last year's MLS draft. Played college soccer at Oregon State. That ball is headed wide. Jones scored 29 goals in his career at Oregon State. Started 6 matches for RGV. 81st minute. Neil Rule, George Metellus with you. HEB Park is the scene. And RGV in charge with a 3-0 lead.
An impressive performance by RGV. The way they were defensively, just maintained, kept themselves well organized, absorbed a little bit of that pressure from Seattle. When Seattle would press up high, they were able to find those right passes, make that right connection of passes to threaten the goal of Cali Brown, and then they finished their chances when they had them. And that's the key, finishing those chances.
That's the biggest component of everything that you talked about.
Yeah.
All that other stuff is pretty and it's nice.
Yeah.
But if you don't finish it off, it just doesn't matter. But that has been the story here tonight for RGV. They have done that, which is something they were not doing at the beginning of the schedule. They are doing it now, coming down the stretch.
And we saw the schedule for RGV coming up, and they can play spoiler for a couple of teams challenging for a spot in the top 8 in the Western Conference. So any team that thinks that RGV, because they're not going to make the playoffs, is going to be an easy victory or easy point at least, they are coming in with the wrong mindset, because RGV has talent. They can beat anyone on any day. And you mentioned that they were able to beat Orange County a couple of times. That's huge.
Real Monarchs as well, a victim of RGV. They will square off against San Antonio coming up. Reno. They will have some say, as we talked about. And they may be looking for another.
But RGV might be that team that, if you're trying to get a playoff push, trying to qualify for the playoffs, like a Reno, San Antonio, do we want to play these guys this night? This might not be the team we want to play right now.
And with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
As far as S2 is concerned, back to the drawing board a little bit for John Hutchinson, as They did stick with that 3-4-3 diamond-shaped midfield throughout the night, and credit to them, because it's something where you're in this situation with this match here tonight, trying to take a look at what you have and where you have it.
Yep.
And John Hutchinson, that man in your screen, getting a look at his side in this new formation tonight. And just continue the process, right, George? And tweaks and do what you can do.
Yeah, playing three in the back is not easy. It's very difficult to do. It's something that takes time. Obviously, the conventional soccer is to play four in the back. That makes it a lot easier in terms of defending, and then obviously with your wing backs going forward. So to play three in the back is hard, and especially when you have a young team, and it's tough for Seattle Sounders too, because you have players going up to the big squad, coming back, so that cohesion may not be there. So it's something that takes time, but when it works and it's well executed, it's a fabulous formation that can get you a lot of goals and create a lot of goal scoring opportunities and control the rhythm and pace of a game.
Ball sent back defensively, and RGV will play it all the way back to the keeper, Chris Seitz, who has been tremendous here tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
Every time his number's been called, he has risen to the occasion.
I mean, he's made a case for man of the match with some of the saves he's made in this game.
And that fine line you talked about of not finishing chances, Seitz had a lot to do with that as far as S2 is concerned. Gonzalez trying to drop it off, nobody on the other end. So Toros will move it methodically.
Two players that were key for Seattle coming into this match that were shut down by Rio Grande Valley were David Estrada and Anthony Burke-Gilroy. Those two important players going forward in attack. And Estrada, team leader with 10 goals, maybe very few touches. And Gilroy, they tried to move him from the right wing to the middle, and he still was ineffective, had very little influence in this game. So RGV did a good job of making sure those two did not get active, did not have a big impact in this game.
You're right. To my memory, Estrada had maybe one touch inside the 18.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That's it.
It's not even as though he didn't have scoring chances. He didn't have touching chances.
Exactly.
I mean, they totally closed the door.
Yep, and that's what you have to do. To beat a team, you have to shut down their biggest goal-scoring threat, and they were able to do so with the way they organized their defense. You know, deny him the ball, and that's one way to do it. One way to do it is to deny the opposition's best goal scorer, deny him the ball, and that's what they were able to do. And that was a major key in this victory for RGV, assuming that the 3 goals holds up. I'm saying they're going to win, but we've seen crazy things happen in soccer, so you never know. But if this scoreline holds up.
And Seattle will continue to press. Another ball reversal there on the left field. That ball got all the way through, and Hopeo had an opportunity with a touch. And Seattle will get a corner out of it.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting it. I think he was surprised that it actually got to him and couldn't get a clean touch going toward goal.
Seitz directing traffic. The corner played out. Now served in all the way through, and Seitz comes off the line. He will pick it up.
He wants to get that ball out there.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got his vision locked in on a clean sheet here.
Yeah, every time the goalkeepers get that ball in those situations, they want to play it out quickly and start the counterattack, start something going forward for the team so they could possibly get a 4th goal in this particular situation.
And they always want an assist too.
Oh yeah, you got to give them an assist. Give the goalkeepers an assist, even if they throw it out with their hands. Give it to them. Yeah, yeah. But this clean sheet looks really good for Chris Seitz because he made a couple of big time saves, as you mentioned before. You can make the argument that he is man of the match for RGV because of the saves he's made.
That ball played out by Pereira. So Pereira coming through, touching it out. He was the one Nicholas put things away really for RGV. It was his goal that was the third one. So Perea comes through. And George, you could just tell the emotion really seemed to be choked out of S2 at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. They gave up that third goal, and that was if to say, or that was the signal, I should say, that for Seattle, like, oh, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be tough. But Perea scoring the goal obviously was a killer, but him getting on the pitch and then them switching to that 4-2-3-1 and putting Wharton and him in front of that back line, that ended Seattle's chances of winning this game, because that basically just locked out the middle. Before they made that substitution, we saw Seattle getting some chances through the middle, making some passes through the middle. But when Perea came on and then they made that switch to the 4-2-3-1, that completely shut it down, and they haven't been able to generate chances ever since. So the substitution paid off defensively for RGV, and then obviously with that goal as well. So well done by Gerson Echeverri to get that substitution on, and it paid off with a goal and some lockdown defense.
Stepping up to take the attack away. Li for S2. Now some space on the left side. Sent to the top of the D. Jesse Daly settles it down. And a breakdown in communication, and it's been that kind of night for Seattle.
If you're down 3 goals, Jesse Daly just has to just let it rip.
Let it rip.
Yeah, let it rip. You're down 3 goals. It's about to be the 90th minute. Just one time that shot and see what happens. We saw Wharton score from a similar position on the pitch. I believe the same end of the pitch as well. So just take a shot and see what happens. The worst, it flies over the crossbar, you don't get a goal. The best, you get a goal. You always got to think positive. So I think Jesse Daly should have just let it go and take that shot.
Just been given word there will be 3 minutes of stoppage time here tonight. And fans, you can watch highlights from this match and every game of the 2018 season and stay up to date with news from across the USL at the league's official Facebook page, facebook.com/USL Soccer. Neil Rule, George Metellus with you. We are officially in to stoppage time. We'll have 3 minutes of stoppage time. Doesn't look like it will be enough for Sounders FC2. Enriquez on the move one more time from that left side. Goes to the top. Bird, right foot, will go high and wide. So Eric Bird with another crack at a brace. Denied this time.
Yeah, Eric Bird. I like the aggressiveness. If you're the coach, Echeverri, you have to like the aggressiveness. There's an opportunity to shoot. Go for it. See what happens. And it was Enriquez again cutting inside with his right and setting up one of his teammates who was unmarked, and Eric Bird let it rip. Just couldn't get it accurately on frame, but still want your players in those situations, if they have the chance, to be confident, be aggressive, and take that shot.
Final couple moments of the match. We'll play it back to Chris Seitz. Seitz pops it high in the air. Comes off the line again. He will scoop it up in just a moment, and he does. You called it, though, partner. Those keepers, they always want to get the attack rolling,
yes,
no matter what.
Yes, they do. They want to get that ball out, start something so that they can get a goal. And like we were saying, maybe get an assist on the play as well. Never hurts.
Perea sends it across. Sheldon Sullivan. Jesus Enriquez one more time.
I like Enriquez's contributions to the match today. We mentioned him at the top as a player to watch, and while he hasn't scored, he's been able to run at that defense, create opportunities, create chaos, get players out of position out of Seattle's defense to set up his teammates and other players. So even though he hasn't scored, he has played very well. He's looked very dangerous on one-on-one opportunities against the Seattle defenders, and he's won most of them. So no goals for him, but still a strong performance by Jesus Enriquez.
Can S2 mount one final attack here, trying to get on the score sheet?
The goal of honor, as they say.
That's what they're looking for. Jesse Daly has it. Moves across the midfield circle. Daly gets it back. But the buildup just not there. That ball threaded through. On the move, an attack for RGV. Oh, the official says play on as that ball was touched away from behind. And the fans at HEB Park voiced their displeasure.
It's a clever run by Jones when he was able to move and get in between those two defenders.
The final whistle sounds. Rio Grande Valley FC with a convincing 3-0 win over Sounders FC2.
It was a brilliant game plan by Gerson Echeverri. The way he came out and the way he lined up his team, they were able to convert their chances. Perea coming in with that third goal. It was the killer goal for RGV.
Rio Grande Valley FC victorious by the score of 3-0. They continue their good run of play over the last 15 matchups. Their fans will go home happy deep in the heart of Texas this evening. Clean sheet for the keeper, Chris Seitz. It was challenging at times, but Seitz made every big save, and that man, as you talked about, Nicolas Perea, came through and closed the door. And let's take a look at the action from this evening. Sounders 2 came out with some good possession early on, but in the end, RGV took advantage of all opportunities. That man, Todd Wharton, from distance.
Oh, that's a beautiful goal, long range there. It's Enriquez who starts it. Carlos Small comes in. We saw that, especially in the second half, a player cutting into the right and then leaving it for a teammate. It all started with Todd Wharton, the captain, in the 5th minute. And from then on, RGV really looked comfortable. They never were really threatened. And this play right here, Eric Bird just showing his skill and his strength. Some slack defending there by Seattle. And there was nothing Cali Brown could do about it there. It was 2-0 at that point.
And they would go to the halftime break with that 2-0 lead. S2 came out of the locker room and tried to mount a challenge. But as we talked about, Chris Seitz would stand tall on that back line. This is probably the best opportunity of the evening.
Yeah, well done there by Seitz to cut off the angle and create the save or make the save. And S2, a couple of chances through the middle. We talked about how they needed to get chances through the middle. They finally were able to do that in that second half on a couple of occasions. Estrada, I think, should have just one-timed that shot. The captain tried to draw the penalty. And then Perea came on, comes up with a big header. They changed the formation up a little bit, and they shut down Seattle after that. And this third goal was the death blow that sucked all the life and all the chances for Seattle in this match.
Cali Brown, not much of a chance to do very much with that one. Nicolas Perea puts that away and put the game away. That possession number, very misleading, as is the stat line here tonight. The goals, though, RGV, every time they had a chance, they took advantage, and the score sheet reflects it.
Look at that, 12 shots to 5, 6 on target to 3, and yet it was 62% possession in favor of Seattle. It's all about the shots and the aggressiveness of Toros. Every time they had some space, they were taking a shot on frame. You have to like that mentality, and they finished it on 3 different occasions. It was well done, a brilliant game plan by Gerson Echeverri.
So once again, the fans go home happy from HEB Park in Edinburgh, Texas, as Rio Grande Valley FC Toros come away with a 3-0 win over Sounders FC 2. So we will take our final break of the evening as Rio Grande Valley FC victorious by the score of 3-0 from our broadcast partner George Metellus. My name is Neil Rohr, reminding you one final time, RGV with the 3-0 win over Sounders FC 2. Thank you everybody for watching here tonight, the USL on ESPN Plus. Well, see you later.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.